Well, hello, my little croissant. Tonight's ASMR video, we're gonna get a bit deep with each other. I have these cards. They're the Unpack That Therapy in a Box cards. And I'm just going to be answering some of the questions on these cards so you guys can get to know me a bit better. If that sounds good to you, then just keep watching. This set comes with a ton of cards, so I'm not going to get through all of them. I'll just be answering the ones that I feel comfortable answering. And I'm going to change some of the wording up because you're meant to use these with another person, whether it's a family member, your significant other, a friend. So let's just get right into it. Ooh, this one's labeled tough questions, but they have other ones that are like the bad, the good, things like that. Some of these are very specific about your relationship to the person, so I'm just going to skip that one. But here we go. What do you think your purpose is in life? I struggle with that one. I don't know my exact purpose in the world, but what I try to do, I guess, is be a good force, if that makes sense. I try to leave things better than I found them. I try to be nice and uplift as many people as possible. I want people to leave meeting me or spending time with me a happier person, so that's what I aim to do. Purpose. Something I've been, I guess, dabbling with is the thought of being a mother. I, for a minute, was very staunchly like, I'm not gonna have kids. And I've kind of been unpacking that. And I don't know exactly how I feel, but I think if the situation lined up perfectly and I'm married and I think the person would be a good parent, I've grown to think that I would like to have a child, perhaps. I just worry about being a good parent. I had a fear for a very long time that I would be a bad mother. I won't get too deep into that because that's a story in and of itself, but I've gotten over those feelings. I like children. I think they're funny and sweet, and I don't know, maybe I'll be a mom one day. We'll see. I'm not gonna do that one because, again, it's too specific for a relationship thing. Let's see. Here we go. Recommend a television show or movie. TV shows are very hard for me to recommend. I find them a bit tedious. I'm much more of a movie gal. Movies have a very set beginning and ending. My problem with a lot of TV shows is that I find they go on way too long. There's too much filler, and some of my favorite TV shows have terrible endings, and so I'm left with this big emptiness after they're done. Think like Game of Thrones, still one of the dumbest endings ever. I feel like they just did not care towards the end. How I Met Your Mother, terrible ending. Breaking Bad, I thought was good from start to finish. Never really felt like they were, putting a lot of filler, and I enjoyed the ending. So I'm gonna recommend a movie. Let's see. Recommend a movie. we'll go with a recent one. Challengers, the tennis movie with Zendaya, I thought was amazing. I enjoyed it from start to finish. The storyline was fun. There was drama. There was love, relationships, things like that. It was super well acted, and I really liked the soundtrack. It was done by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. Big fan. Would recommend watching it if you haven't. This card says, what are you still unlearning? I would say I'm unlearning being judgmental of myself. I grew up with certain people being very critical of me, and I kind of took that into adulthood, and I would see myself through that lens. I've gotten more comfortable with who I am, the things I like, how I look. I definitely had body image issues growing up. I think a lot of women do. And it's especially hard when someone very close to you is the root cause of that. But I've learned to make my own closure with things, to not necessarily take people's opinions of me to heart, especially when they're about such superficial and shallow things. So I would say I'm learning that it's something I still deal with somewhat. Takes a while, but I'm much better than what I have been, so, I'm happy about that. Do you think you are misunderstood? I would say sometimes yes. I think people sometimes view me in the more, how do I put this, salacious kind of light. And I mean, I know I dress sexy. I joke about like I dress like a hoochie mama and everything. But I think sometimes people think they can talk to me however they want and assume the craziest things about me because of that. And I think sometimes people think I am dumber than I am. I'm not Miss Smarty Pants. I don't know everything in the world, but I don't think I'm an idiot. But I think a good chunk of you who watch me do see who I am. You see me in a wonderful light, and I love you guys for that. You appreciate me and enjoy my little quirks, and I love that about you guys. It makes me really happy when I read some of your messages and your comments. They really do make my day. Oh, this is a fun one. Is your online persona accurate to how you are in person? I would say minus me talking this way, softly, whispering sometimes. I would say yes. I tend to keep it pretty real on my channel. I say what I want, when I want. I dress how I dress in real life, which in the beginning people thought I would wear the clothes for the video and then I guess never put them on again. But everything I've posted online I don't feel shame about, and I would say it is pretty accurate. Does that mean people know me through and through my videos alone or what I post? No, but I would say you guys get a pretty good idea of who I am. Would you rather be loved, respected, or admired? I would rather be feared. I'm kidding. Would I rather be loved, respected, or admired? I don't know the huge difference between loved and admired. I'm gonna go with loved. I think love conquers all. Not to be a cheese ball. And I think if you love someone, you kind of respect them in the same sense. I feel like they all kind of blend together, if I'm being honest. So, do you believe everything happens for a reason? No, I don't. I think sometimes people say that because it makes things, I guess, feel and seem better than they are, but I think sometimes bad things happen and there really is no reason. You can make something out of it, though. I do believe that. Take a bad situation and learn a lesson from it, or become stronger. But it happening for a reason, not necessarily. If you could change anything about how you were raised, what would it be? For the most part, I had a really great childhood. I had and have really good parents, so this is a bit hard for me. I would say there was some chaos that was unnecessary in parts of my life that I wish was different. It built character, though. So I don't know if I would necessarily change it. I think when I look back on it now, I wouldn't change it. Maybe at the time I would have. I'm gonna be totally cliche right now with this answer. I think everything I've been through has made me who I am, so I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily change it, honestly. What do you value most in a friendship? Trust. Whether it's a relationship or a friendship, you need to be able to trust that person. You don't want someone who's going around telling all your business, someone you can't rely on, anything like that. Trust is the biggest building block for any kind of relationship, in my opinion. How do you express your anger? I don't get angry very often, but when I do, this is kind of embarrassing. I cry. I'm a crier when I'm angry. I don't throw things or punch holes in walls. I did throw something one time in anger. I was a teenager, I think, maybe like 18, something like that. And I threw a picture frame. It was a picture of me and the person I was mad at was being very dramatic. And I threw it, and it crashed everywhere. Glass broke. It was terrible. And then I realized that was stupid as hell, because guess what? I had to clean it up after, and I never threw anything ever again. But yeah, to express my anger, I cry like a big baby. Have you ever told someone, "I love you," but did not mean it? If so, why? I have not. I, for better or for worse, say exactly how I feel, which is very funny, because I had a man tell me one time, he's like, "You're so mysterious." And he was the only person to ever tell me that. I asked someone else, I was like, "Do you think I'm mysterious?" And they were like, "No, I pretty much know what you're thinking at all times." I think you should say what you feel. And telling someone you love them, it's a big deal. You shouldn't lie about things like that or toy with people's emotions. I think that's wrong, so don't do that. What is one negative trait you need to work on? I could be boring and say my lateness, which you guys know about. It's genetic. I get it from my father's side. But I'll say something else. I overthink things. I read too much into people's subtle changes. Like if I notice someone not being super chipper with me when they have been, I automatically go to, oh, they hate me. Instead of maybe they're just having an off day or they're just not in the mood to be extra chipper. Sometimes I read too much into body language. I make too many assumptions. Has there been a time where you feel judged? I sort of feel judged constantly. I think no matter who you are, you're being judged to an extent by your peers and people around you. You just have to learn to sort of not care. You do need to care to an extent, though. I will say that. I don't like when people move throughout the world saying, I'm just me and I don't care about anybody else. You shouldn't do that. There's a happy medium with a lot of things. You should feel shame about certain stuff. I think we've sort of lost that. But some people are just rude and are going to judge you over very stupid things, and you can't take that to heart. You have to be secure in yourself, know who you are, and be okay with that. Describe a nightmare you have had. What do you think it meant? I have bad dreams a lot. I would say my sleep is not all that peaceful very often. I don't know if they have meanings though, because they're very chaotic dreams. I have a lot of end of the world dreams, or oddly enough, people who are very good to me in real life are always the worst people in my dreams, and I wake up very confused. I hate to say it, but I've definitely had those dreams where the person I'm dating has cheated on me. Then I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did they do that to me? But then, I come to my senses and realize it's not real. I don't know why that happens. I also have my nightmares in reoccurring places. It's almost like the same world, but things are slightly different. Example, I have nightmares about just things, but it'll be at my old house, but things will be mirrored. I don't know. There's a lot of snakes usually. I have one where I'm in a house and it's just infested with snakes and I can't get out. The meaning behind that, it escapes me. If you're someone who interprets dreams, you should let me know what you think that means. What makes you feel embarrassed? When I was younger, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but damn near everything would make me embarrassed. I would hold on to trash in my hands and my pockets at school because getting up to throw away trash was embarrassing. I was a very anxious little girl. But as an adult, I don't really get embarrassed anymore. I've realized that most people around you are not paying all that much attention to you. They don't really care. I think, not to sound rude, and think this helped me, so I don't want to sound mean. We sometimes overestimate our importance to strangers. Most people are not checking for you, so you don't need to be embarrassed. Throw away the trash in your pocket. Go dancing. Wear the outfit. I can guarantee you most people don't care. Is there anything you consider unforgivable? I don't know if this means in relationships or life in general. I would say yes. I know people like to say, God forgives. Okay, well, I don't. But as far as relationships, I would say cheating. I think cheating is a low blow. Just break up with the person and then you can go do whatever. It's unnecessary to cheat. You're just hurting someone. You're wasting their time and it's rude. As far as just general life things, I would say being violent, certain crimes. I want to keep it ASMR-ish, so I'm not going to say exactly, but there's definitely things I would say are unforgivable. Who are you closest to in life and why? In my last video that was sort of like this, I talked about the importance of my dad, which is still very true, and I would put him on this list, but I'm going to take this time out to talk about my sister. I love my sister. She is my best friend in the world. We do everything together. She is the nicest, most supportive person. We always laugh. We cut up together. Anything I need. I can be a bit of a drama queen. I don't know if you guys know that. And if I'm feeling, antsy or anxious, or I'm having a bad day, that's who I go to, my sister. And she'll be there for me, and she gives the best advice. She really gets me. She's my biggest supporter and cheerleader, and I can just tell her anything. And I think it's important for everyone to have that kind of person in their life where you can be unfiltered and raw with them. And I feel every day just so lucky to have her, and that she's my sister and my built-in best friend. What is your definition of love? To me, love is comfort. Love is just being able to exist as your true self with someone, where you don't feel like you have to put on this big show all the time, where you can show the more vulnerable side of yourself. You're not worried about how they're going to perceive you because they get you. There's different kinds of love as well. There's friend love, there's family love, there's love with a partner. So each one is going to be a little bit different. But I think at the core of all of that is just understanding and, again, trust. Trust is a big part of love to me. What do you think happens when you die? I don't know. I think the idea of there being nothing is terrifying, but at the same time, I hope this makes sense. I think the thought of it being forever is also terrifying. That makes sense. Like you just never stop existing. That sounds exhausting. I don't have a set belief, if I'm being completely honest. I think anything could happen. I also think no one truly knows. I respect everyone's belief if they think there's nothing, or if they think there's a heaven, or anything like that. But to say that you definitively know, don't really get down with that. I don't know. That's what I settle with at the end of the day. A bunch of I don't know. I think this is going to be my last question. When was the last time you cried? I kind of have been wanting to share this with you guys, but I also wanted to respect people's privacy, but I got the okay. And so my niece was born 8 weeks early. She's doing good. She's still in the NICU. She's gaining weight every day. She's strong. She's a fighter. She's so cute. But the first time I saw her, it was so many emotions. I was happy to see her, but I was also very sad because she was so small. I had never seen a baby so small, and I hate seeing babies and children with tubes and in the hospital. It gives me a lot of emotions, and so when I saw her, I just kind of burst into tears. But I've been seeing her, and each time I see her, it gets better, and it's been awesome to see her growing. And honestly, it's amazing what modern medicine can do, and I can't wait for her to be home so I can love on her, cuddle her, and it'll just be exciting to finally have her like in our day-to-day lives. She's so precious. I almost teared up right then. But I've always kind of told myself I would never cry on camera, so we're gonna refrain from that. So we've reached the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit better. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.